Have you ever put your heart into a hackathon? You probably did not sleep for days. You ensured that you wrote clean code. You ensured that you even had a very sleek UI. At the end of the hackathon, you were convinced that you were going to win, only for the winners to be announced and your name was not on the list. You probably even refreshed the page saying that maybe they are still uploading the results. This could actually be very painful. So you didn't just lose, you don't even know why. Here is what nobody tells you. The best code doesn't always win. Judges are not just scoring your code. They're asking questions like, does this solve a real life problem? Did they explain it well? Could this become something bigger? Anyways, in this video, I am going to break down exactly what makes a hackathon project stand out even if you are a beginner. Welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, I mentioned different ways that you can actually get great hackathon project ideas. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on how to ensure that your hackathon project doesn't just become part of the statistics, but it's actually a project that is actually worth looking at and probably qualifies as one of the winning projects. First thing first, there is a winning formula. Now, this formula is actually code plus story plus presentation plus business relevance equals to a standout project. So I'm going to break it down into bits. Your code, it needs to work. Do not expect your project to win a prize if your code is not working, if your code is not complete. Please do not just submit a design and say that that is your project. Do not just submit a code base that is probably having lots of bugs in it. In fact, what I recommend is, instead of focusing on implementing several features, have 2 to 3 features that work exactly as it should, and then you can add in maybe your documentation that you're going to have like some other features in the next version. Is better than you submitting a project that is so buggy that the judges are not even able to use it. In fact, that is the foundation. Your code has to work. The second one is story. What inspired the project? What pain points are you addressing? Now, this is going to be very useful when you're pitching your project, whether it is a live pitch or maybe whether it is a recorded pitch. The judges would love to know how you actually came about the idea. It's actually just great, because if you notice, for every great project that is out there, you see that they are solving a problem. Some of the layer 2s, you're going to hear them say that, oh, we're trying to solve the problem that is in Ethereum, or things like that. So every great project has a story. Your project has to have a story. So even if you didn't think of a story when you started the ideation and all of that, when you get to that presentation time, think of a story that you can actually fit your project into. So let me quickly move to the next one, which is presentation. At the end of the day, if you have like a great code base, you have a great story, and your presentation is 0, everything is almost 0. So please work on your presentation skills. If you don't know how to speak eloquently, you can get somebody to actually present for you. You don't have to do it yourself, but ensure that you're able to communicate clearly the problem you're trying to solve. You're able to show clearly what you have solved, like your approach to solving that particular problem. You're able to clearly explain it to everybody that is listening in a way that they are able to understand, they're able to relate with your project, and they are able to see the good in your project. Now, I'm going to move away from that quickly and move on to the last point in the formula, which is business relevance. Who needs your project? Can it scale in the long run? You don't need to be a business guru, but then it is very beautiful for you to think about the business side of the project that you're putting out in the hackathon. Because at the end of the day, hackathons are not just a way for companies to throw money into the air. They are actually looking for projects that can actually exist in their ecosystem. So do not just build projects for the fun of it. Ensure that you can tie business relevance to it in a way that the investors that will be investing in the projects would see a way to make their money back. Now, let's dive into this properly. What are the judges looking out for? First thing you need to think about is that the hackathon judges are not always engineers. They might be CTOs, they might be founders, co-founders, CEOs, they might be designers, they might be marketers, managers, they might just be general users. You never can tell. So please keep that in mind, that your judges may not be technical. Now, the next thing you need to keep in mind is that what they are looking for is not perfection. What they are looking for is clarity and potential. So it's not about making your project perfect. It's about making your project clear in a way that they are able to understand what you're trying to achieve. And then they are looking for potential, that this project has potential to thrive in the market if given the opportunity to. Can they understand what you have built? Can they see how it solves a problem? And real world people actually use your solution? These are some of the questions you should ask yourself in order to adequately prepare your project to win. Another thing I want to really talk about is to tell a compelling story. I already mentioned a bit of it at the beginning, but then think about your project like a movie. What is the problem? What is the plot twist? And how does your project save the day? So instead of starting your pitch with something like, oh, this is my product, this is what it does, you can actually start your pitch in this manner. We noticed a huge problem in X, so we built Y to help Z. Do not just throw your product or maybe your project like that. Ensure that you put it in a way that it has value. It should be clear, it should be direct, and it should be effective. On the business side of things, think about the business side of hacking. If you want to impress the judges even more, show your business thinking. Who are your users? How do you reach them? Do you have any monetization idea? How do you intend to make money from this product? Nobody expects you to launch a startup on day one, but showing that you actually thought about it is actually a game changer. Now, this point is actually very important, and it is demo like a pro. Your demo is not the time to debug. You know that moment where you're presenting a demo and then you click a button and the whole code breaks and then you're apologizing? Your demo is not the time to debug. It should be simple, it should be straightforward, and it should work. You can actually record a video walkthrough through your product. That is if it's a recorded demo, or maybe if it's a live demo, you can actually as well just walk the judges or whoever is looking through the process of using that particular product or project. Focus on the user journey. Please do not go to your demo and then you're showing us code. If you click on this function, it's going to do this. If you click on this, no, show us from the user side of things. If you click on this button, it allows you login. If you click on this thing, it takes you to this place. It's better. Please don't come and show us code. Show us as if we are users. And then submit early. Submit early. Why? Because if you submit early and, for example, you're sending in a video demo, you'll be able to notice if the link is broken. But then if you don't submit early and you rush and you submit, you might discover that maybe you sent the wrong link or maybe the link is broken. So please do well to submit your demo early. Let me give some other bonus tips to actually scale through these hackathons. Number one is to actually use pre-built tools and libraries. You don't have to build everything from the scratch. If there are SDKs that exist, if there are tools, libraries that you can use in your project to make your processes faster, please do that. Rather than spend 3 weeks writing a feature, if you can have a tool or a library that would help you do that in one day, please use it by all means. Just ensure that you are not just copying and pasting blindly. Number two is to integrate partner APIs and tools. Now, usually for hackathons, you would always see maybe sponsors and partners that are usually like announced during the hackathon. Rather than just focus on the main organizers of the hackathon, you can also integrate 2 or 3 partner projects or tools into your project. In fact, don't just leave it to chance. Ensure that you check for those ones that have probably like bounties in the hackathon. You can actually like try to integrate them. Think of how can I integrate this particular tool or product or maybe API into my project. Do that and you'll be surprised that at the end of the hackathon, even though you don't win the main prizes, you may just get a token or maybe something from those bounties given by the partners and sponsors. You're just basically increasing your chances of winning across multiple categories. The last one is document your work. Please do not just submit your code and your demo and then everybody is wondering how it works. It is very important that you have good documentation for your project. It doesn't have to be like maybe on Gitbook or maybe any other fancy documentation platform. Your GitHub README is enough. Let me just give like a checklist of things that should be inside of your README. You should have your problem and solution that you're trying to solve and how you're trying to solve it. You should have the setup steps. How can someone actually run your product locally on their system? Have the features that you already have implemented, have the ones that you have not implemented yet, have them in your documentation. It's going to give the judges like, okay, this person actually knows what he is doing. Please add screenshots, add the demo links, add every other necessary links that is available inside of your README. So another tip is, rather than have just a link to the GitHub, you can actually have different links to like the different components of your code. So for example, you can have a link to the front end, you can have a link to the back end, you can have a link to the design. This way, it is easier for the judges of whoever is reviewing your code to find what they are looking for. It will make their work easier and they will give you points for that. Lastly, teamwork matters. You can do it by yourself, but if you can get other people to work on your projects with you, it's going to make your work faster and easier. Just ensure that you guys are able to communicate effectively and ensure that nobody is slowing anybody down. But then if you have a good team and you guys put in the work, the judges can see or spot a team that is united, especially with the quality of products or project that you're going to be delivering. So please make sure that you're working with the right people and that you guys are executing fast. I hope that with all of these tips and points I've shared, the next hackathon project that you're going to be submitting is not just going to be like every other person's own. It's going to stand out, it's going to make sense, and it's going to get you something. I really hope you found this video useful. If you did, if you tried any of these things and they work, please do well to drop comments letting us know about it. And if you have any other tips, please do well to share. I'm sure that we would be very happy to try them. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, why? Please do well to subscribe to this channel. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, please subscribe. I have like a weekly newsletter where I put out hackathons, bounties, job opportunities, contests, grants, name it, different kinds of opportunities. I send it to your email every week if you're subscribed. So if you're not already subscribed, you've already missed a lot, so do well to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.